Good morning, everyone. In today's class, we will be discussing about Israel-Palestine conflict. So here we will be having a very comprehensive idea, the in and out of Israel-Palestine conflict. I felt like at one go, we can have a comprehensive discussion on Israel-Palestine conflict so that next time the topic no need to be repeated. So you can get a comprehensive idea at one go. So the reason why we have taken up this particular topic, just uh, a day before yesterday's editorial, it mentioned about this peace deal between United Arab Emirates and Israel. Okay, so this agreement was signed. So as per this agreement, they came up with certain outcomes. We will be discussing that. Okay, so before that, I felt like this should be the structure of the whole lecture. So like when the issue started between Israel and Palestine, and why the issue is still continuing, and the chronology of events, the chronology event that took place since 1917 with the starting of this Balfour Declaration. And after that, we will be also showing some of the maps, the way Israel got formed and expanded itself towards the territories of Palestine, and the present status of the conflict, and finally to what extent India should view this particular conflict, like to whom we should support, like shall we support Israel or shall we support the Arab Palestine cause. So to what extent we have to view that particular issue. Okay, so this is the whole what you call structure of the lecture. Now let's come to the first one, that is the recent issue. If you see the recent issue, as we mentioned, United Arab Emirates and Israel, they signed a peace deal, okay, just a few days back. So according to that peace deal, United Arab Emirates, it would recognize. So this is the first important aspect here. United Arab Emirates would recognize Israel as a separate country. The state of Israel means here is recognizing Israel as a separate country. Okay. And after recognition, establishing formal diplomatic relations with Israel. This is what United Arab Emirates it decided. At the same time, if you take the case of Israel, Israel too made a promise in that particular deal that it will not what you call annex. It will not annex the Swetes, means the places of Palestine West Bank. So the important aspect for you here is West Bank. What is West Bank? Okay. Why Israel wants to further annex that the Palestinian territories of West Bank? Okay. So that we will be discussing. Okay. So before that, if you take the current issue, as of now, if you take the whole Arab countries means mostly the West Asia. Okay. If you take the Arab countries, as of now, only three Arab countries. As of now, only three Arab countries recognized Israel as a separate country, because the Arab nations got this conflict with Israel, because this is where the whole conflict started. When the Jews entered into the Arab lands, the conflict started, the Palestine. So with that reason, as of now, majority of the Arab countries did not recognize Israel as a separate country, but only three of them they recognized. One among them is United Arab Emirates, the one that recently recognized. The other two I mentioned here, Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994. Another point here you should understand, United Arab Emirates is first among the Gulf countries. We have 7 Gulf countries. We have total 7 Gulf countries. So among the 7 Gulf countries, you see, like we have this Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, and we have Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and we have Oman, and we have UAE. So these are the seven Gulf countries. So among the seven Gulf countries, the first one to recognize Israel as a separate country is United Arab Emirates. It is the first country among the Gulf and third country among the whole Arab nations. Arab nations means here the West Asian countries. Okay. So this is some basic factual information with respect to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Okay. And the current issue. So this current issue eventually will take us to the main issue, that is the Israel-Palestine conflict. Okay. So to understand the Israel-Palestine conflict, so I felt like it is appropriate first of all to understand the map of Israel. If you see the present one, okay. So this is what you call, if you see here, this is the international boundary, the dotted lines. So if you see this one here, the this particular one. So this is the international boundary. So as of now, okay. But again, see here, in this also we have a lot many, like what you call conflict zones that we will be identifying. Suppose for example, one is we have here Gaza. Okay. Okay. Next is what we have here, this Golan Heights. So this is West Bank. Okay. Previously there used to be one place here in this particular region. This region is what we call as Sinai Peninsula. This region, Sinai Peninsula. You know, peninsula means three parts will be covered with water, one part will be with land. So the Sinai Peninsula here, it's with Egypt and Israel. Israel actually occupies the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. Later will hand over to Egypt. That's why Egypt will support Israel. So they both will make a deal in 1970s. That's why later Israel also will face challenges with Arab nations. But Israel out of its own compulsion, because it has to settle its dispute with Israel. That's why Israel has to do that. That's why Israel will be the first country to recognize, uh, sorry, Egypt will be the first country to recognize Israel as a separate country. Okay. The reason, because is Israel occupies Egypt, the part of Egypt, the Sinai Peninsula. Okay. Then they will make a compromise. Egypt will take back the Sinai Peninsula and will in turn recognize Israel as a separate country. Okay. So by seeing this map, the first and foremost thing what you have to understand, the borders of the international borders of Israel. On one side you can see here we have the Mediterranean Sea. On the other side we have countries like Egypt, we have countries like Jordan, we have Syria, and we have Lebanon. Okay, so these are the four countries that are actually surrounding Israel. So along with that, we have this sea called as, on one side we have this Mediterranean Sea, and we also have this Dead Sea here. Okay, Dead Sea, the one that separates this Jordan and Israel. Okay, so this is the map of Israel. Next one, if you see, as I mentioned previously, some of the important places here. So the controversial place is the Golan Heights. It's a controversial place occupied by Israel, but Syria also claiming that. Okay. And we have the issue of Jerusalem. Palestinians also mentioning like that is our place. Israeli people are mentioning like that is our place because that is our sacred place. Okay. So I told you this regarding the Sinai Peninsula, and we mentioned about this Gaza Strip. This Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, here we have this Mossad, the intelligence agency of Israel that actually locates in Tel Aviv. So that's why Tel Aviv is an important place. Okay. So these are some of the important places. But what you have to understand from this particular map is that, see the green line. See the green line and see the white one. The green one, the 1967 boundaries. 1967 Palestine. The green. So 1967 Israel, if you see this whole portion, suppose for example, if you take the case this West Bank, it was not actually under the control of Israel. But by 2012, if you see, this whole region became the shaded, the white region. The white color one, it's the occupation of Israel into the Palestinian territories. Okay, you will be further wondering if you see the rest of the maps. Let me show you those maps also. See, so this is the actual evolution of Israel. The first one is 1916 to 1922. Because in 1917, the declaration will come, the Balfour Declaration. Okay. Why this Balfour Declaration? So, during the time of First World War, during that First World War's time, this Palestine region was actually under the control of Turkey. Most of you know about this thing called as Ottoman Empire. So, the Arab lands were actually under control of the Ottoman Empire. So, Ottoman Empire will be losing the war with the British during the time of First World War. So, because Ottoman Empire lost the war, Ottoman Empire has to hand over the territories to British. So, in that way, British will have a legitimate control over the Palestine, the Arab lands. Okay. After the what you call winning the war with Ottoman Empire. Okay. So by that time itself, long back, that means from in 19th century onwards, these Jews across the globe, they will actually demand a country for themselves. Because we have Germany for Germans, Spain for what you call Spanish people, and we have France for the French people. In the similar way, they wanted, because Jews also represents a separate culture. So Jews, what will they do is like Jews they also want to have a separate country for themselves. So with that reason, what will happen here is like they will demand. Eventually, the British, because of the Jew lobby, they will mention like under this Balfour Declaration, in the coming years, if the Jews feels they can come and stay in the lands of Palestine. So that's what the first one, the first map, if you see. Okay. So then slowly with increasing years, if you see here by 1947, they will draw the map. So they will draw the map. The map will be submitted even to the United Nations. United Nations also will recognize that. They will make Jerusalem as a what you call United Nations will observe the Jerusalem, and rest of the places they will carve out. They will even hand over that to the Israel. So that's what eventually the 1948 birth of Israel, 14th May 14th May 1948 birth of Israel. So if you see here the 1949 map, so what happened here? Still this Gaza Strip, this whole West Bank, this whole region was not actually with Israel. But slowly with increasing years, see the green color is slowly reducing, the white color slowly started getting spreading. So what it indicates? Shrinking of the Palestinian lands and expansion of this Israel. After this 1967 war, this 1967 war is very crucial. Why it is very crucial? In 1967 war, Israel will further occupy the places. It occupies the Gaza Strip, it occupies West Bank, it occupies Golan Heights, it occupies Sinai Peninsula. Later, okay, only Sinai Peninsula it will hand over to Egypt. Okay, with rest all the places, still we have these controversies. Okay, so in this way, eventually, slowly, what will happen? Israel, okay, will expand its territory at the cost of Palestinian lands. Okay, so this is the recent one. If you see the last one, so these are the portions right now we are left with this Palestinian people. Okay, rest of most of the places, it is literally see here, it is occupying the whole place, the whole region. Okay, so this is the cause of concern, especially for the Palestinians right now. So With these maps, now let us try to understand the basics, how the issue actually started. As I mentioned, 1917 Balfour Declaration. It promises a national home for the Jews. See, the most important aspect is national home. National home means with the Jew sentiment, they will be declaring a separate country for the Jews. This is what in 1917 they will declare, because by that time they will take control of the Palestinian lands. 1914 the war will start. Okay. Even after that, after First World War, we have seen the formation of League of Nations with the what you call with the support given by Woodrow Wilson. Okay, so in the League of Nations also, so they will propose for this establishment of the Jewish national home, later the Israel. Okay, so they will try that against to this particular initiative. Okay, in 1930s, so there will be an Arab revolt. The Arab nations, the Arab countries, the present Arab countries. So that time itself, they will fight against that. They will fight against that particular decision, but still British will not listen, because that time behind British we have this USA. In USA we have a very strong Jew lobby. So this Jew lobby within the USA, they will pressurize the British. So British doesn't have any other option, because that time for the British also during the time of Second World War especially, the finance used to be provided by the USA. So with that reason, British also out of compulsion, so they have to listen to what the Americans, what they say. Especially behind the Americans, we have the Jew lobby, the strong Jew lobby. Okay. So eventually we have seen passing of this resolution at the United Nations in 1947. Resolution number 181. They will pass this resolution. So this resolution accepts creation of a separate country for the Jews called as Israel. Okay. And the most important aspect here is, see, what this United Nations did, West Bank, including East Jerusalem, okay, they will be actually going to Jordan. Gaza Strip will go to the Egypt. This is what United Nations actually mentioned. Okay. So, West Bank will be going to Jordan. Okay. Gaza Strip will be going to Egypt. Rest of the area, they can have Israel, and within that they can have this Palestine. But after that, what will happen? After the birth of Israel in 1948, 14th of May 1948, immediately the Arab nations, they will wage a war. That's what we have seen, the 8-month war. So Arab nations will not accept the decision of the United Nations. They will say that behind the United Nations we have the USA and the West. Okay, that's why the Arab countries, they will not accept the decision taken up at the United Nations level. They will wage a war, but they will lose the war, because behind Israel that time, on one side Israel is powerful, at the same time behind Israel we have the West. So eventually the Arab nations will be suppressed. So Israel will strengthen its position. Okay, then Israel will start the expansion. Okay, so it will expand towards the West Bank. West Bank means towards the Jordan. It will expand towards Gaza Strip. Okay, then we have seen these refugees, crushing of these Palestinian people. So the Palestinian people, they does not have any other options. So they have to become refugees. They have to flee to different countries like Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt. Okay, so the exploitation starts. Okay, so the exploitation starts. So this eventually leads to taking up, because somebody will come. When the exploitation starts, somebody will come to take up the leadership position. So like that, there comes a organization called as Palestine Liberation Organization. Okay, so there used to be an army also, Palestine Liberation Army. Palestine Liberation Army. Okay. So it used to be a militant body. It used to be a political body. Palestine Liberation Organization used to be a political body to represent the people of Palestine, to represent the cause of the Palestinian people. And this Palestine Liberation Army, it's a militant group. It used to fight with the Israeli forces. Okay. So in that way, on one side, militant groups formed. On the other side, we have this political organization called as Palestinian Liberation Organization. The name itself is clearly mentioning liberation. Liberation means setting them free. Okay. So after this, in 1967, another war starts, the second war. The second war between the Arab states on one side and Israel on the other side. This is the second time the Arab nations were again wants to take revenge against Israel. But again they will fail. This time they fail very badly. Because this time Israel will heavily crush them. Okay, so as you can see here, that time Egypt also actually against Israel. It will crush Egypt, it will crush Jordan, it will crush Syria. Eventually what Israel will do? Israel wants to give a punishment to them. So it will occupy. It occupies the East Jerusalem. It occupies the West Bank. It occupies the Gaza Strip. It occupies the Golan Heights. As I mentioned previously, Golan Heights near to Syria. Okay, Gaza Strip near to Egypt, the western side. Okay, we have West Bank near to the Jordan, West Bank and East Jerusalem. So all the three places Israel will occupy. Okay, so after this, after occupation, okay, then it will start constructions. It will start what you call this as settlements. After occupation, it encourages the Jews to go and settle in those places. Okay. So this create further anger to the Arab countries. That's why they will impose this oil embargo. Oil embargo means they will increase the prices of the oil. They will stop selling oil. They will form the cartel, all the Arab nations. Okay. Especially these Arab nations because that is their source. So 1970s means that time oil used to be the major source. So majority of the oil comes from the Gulf countries. Then the Gulf countries will decide like now we have to teach a lesson to America. America and the countries which were actually supporting Israel. Okay, so they will come up with this 1973. First, they will try to attack. When they realize that they could not attack Israel because behind Israel there was US. Then they will try to play from their side. That means their strength is their oil. So that's why they want to stop what you call exporting this oil. They want to impose this embargo. Embargo means this what you call sudden artificial stoppage. But still, they could not able to stop Israel to expand, even after imposition also. Okay. Then this will further strengthen Israel. It will even expand. It will even enter into the Lebanon. Lebanon is an independent country. Okay. But there will be a lot many refugees from Palestine to the Lebanon. So this Israel will take as an opportunity. It encourages the locals in Lebanon, okay, to crush the refugees. That's what we have seen. Lebanese military, it encourages the Lebanese militias to crush the Palestinian people. So in that way, Israel not only strengthening itself, it is also entering into conflict, it is entering into the other countries like Lebanon. Okay, for almost, see here, till 2000, Israeli troops are there in Lebanon. You can just understand here. Israeli army, okay, stayed till 2000 in Lebanon for almost 20 years. So it means Israel day by day, year by year, strengthening its position in the region. Okay, it even entering into conflict with the other countries. Okay, so that indicates to what extent Israel playing a role in the West Asian region. Okay, so when you try to suppress anybody too much, definitely there will be some kind of revolt. So this revolt, this uprising, this is what we call as intifada. Intifada means uprising, the Palestinian uprising. So the first intifada means the first Palestinian uprising. Here uprising means what? Uprising means people level. So there will be a that means people's protest. So protest against the Israeli government. So this first uprising starts, okay, in 1980s, when on one side Israeli forces crushing the Palestinian refugees. Okay, on the other side, it is encouraging the Jewish settlements. On another side, it is entering into the other countries' conflicts. Okay, so this eventually creates a state of frustration for the Palestinian people. Okay, so between 87 and 93, there will be huge protests by the Palestinian people against the Israeli government. Okay, so this creates some kind of sensation at the international level, and the international community also wants to participate in this particular region. They want to give some kind of solution to this problem. Eventually, in the year 1993, okay, on one side the Israeli government, and on the other side the Palestinian Liberation Organization, Israel and Palestinian Liberation Organization, because it is the Palestinian Liberation Organization, it mostly represents the cause of the Palestinians as a political organization that time. So both these parties, the first party, the Israeli government, the second party, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, both will be reaching to a place called as Oslo, Norway. Okay, there they will be signing one peace agreement. That's why this peace agreement is called as Oslo Accord, because it was signed in Oslo. That's why it's called as Oslo Accord. So according to the Oslo Accord, Israel will recognize Palestinian Liberation Organization. It will recognize that. It will consider Palestinian Liberation Organization as a proper political party. So this PLO also will rename itself as Palestine Authority, because now it is being officially recognized as a political party even by the Israel. Till then, it used to fight for the liberation of the Palestinians. Now it became a political party. That's why they renamed that liberation organization as Palestinian Authority. Okay. So eventually the agreement will be signed. Then they will feel like, okay, there was some kind of truce deal that took place, some kind of ceasefire. Okay. So in that in these two places, the West Bank region and the Gaza Strip, in these two places the Palestinian Authority can contest elections. Israel does not have any problem. Only in these two regions, the West Bank region and the second one, the Gaza Strip. In these two places, the Palestinian Authority can even contest elections. Okay, so that time the most famous influential person is this Yasser Arafat. He even got the Nobel Prize. Yasser Arafat, he actually he represented the cause of the Palestinian people. He played a very crucial role in the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization. Okay, so this Yasser Arafat, he will visit the West Bank. He visits the Gaza Strip. Okay, they want to have a political establishment there, but everything on one side goes smooth. But by 2000, again the problem starts, because Israel is not living up to its mark. Israel still expand its territory, though it mentioned that it will not further expand, it will not further annex the Palestinian places, but still it annexes. This leads to the second wave. On one side, they tried the self-rule by establishing this Palestinian Authority. But because Israel is not living up to its agreed principle, that's why the second Intifada starts. But the second Intifada will be heavily crushed by the Israel. Okay, so it will be crushed heavily by the Israel. Okay, Next, after that, by 2005, this Yasser Arafat will be died with this polonium poisoning. He will be poisoned, so he will be murdered. Yasser Arafat will be murdered. And after that, this Muhammad Abbas. So Muhammad Abbas, right now, presently also he is there. So Muhammad Abbas is a kind of moderate. Moderate means he is not much of repulsive or what you call violence encouraged kind of person. He is a very cool person. So he will become the president of the Palestinian Authority. Okay. Then he wants to have some kind of peace deals with the Israeli government. So Israeli government also recognizes that. Okay. So Israeli government agrees that okay, we will be leaving the Gaza Strip. You do what you want to do. You establish your political party there, but you do not cross the Gaza Strip. If you cross that, then we have to take action. So in that way, they will come to some kind of what you call ceasefire deal. Ceasefire means stopping the violence. Okay. But within this Palestine, we have two things. One is what we call Fateh. Second one is Hamas. Fateh means it's one kind of political ideology. Suppose, for example, take the case of India. We have Congress, we have BJP. In the similar way, you can say Fateh is like INC, Indian National Congress. Hamas is like BJP. You can take an example. So don't try to take a full comparison. Not in nature. I'm just trying to give the differentiation. That's it. So this Fateh, it is mostly will be on the West Bank. This Fateh ideology. This Hamas, they are in the Gaza Strip. Okay. So this Palestinian Authority, it wants to have a complete full authority for the whole Palestine, including Gaza Strip. But this Hamas will not agree for that. Hamas will say that ours is different. We have a different culture. So within the Palestine, we have different culture. We want a separate identification. So because of this internal fight, these two factions, the Fateh faction and the Hamas faction. So Fateh is a bit secular. Fateh is secular. Okay. Hamas bit conservative. So that means encouraging Islamic fundamentalism. Okay. So this is what the nature of Hamas. But this Fateh also Islamic organization representing Palestinians. But Fateh is secular. So Fateh actually wants some kind of balance, especially in the West Bank. Okay. But this Hamas will not listen. Eventually, in 2007, this Hamas will take control of the whole Gaza Strip. Okay, so the whole Gaza Strip will be taken over by the Hamas. Then again Hamas will start attacking Israelis. Then Israel will further wants to crush the Hamas. Though finally in 2017, Hamas also realized that yes, we must unite both Fateh and Hamas. Both the ideologies we have to unite. If you do not unite, Israel will come and crush us. So finally they will decide. So this is the current situation. So the current situation, if you see, they both united. They are fighting for the common cause of Palestinian identity, that is a separate statehood for the Palestine. Okay. Still Israel, sometimes it will say yes, sometimes it will say no. Okay. Even sometimes America also, during the time of Obama administration, okay, they are for the separate statehood for Palestine. But when the Trump administration came, because Trump is very much close to Israel, especially to the Israeli conservatives, now they're saying that they have reservations with respect to the boundaries between Israel and Palestine. So in that way, the issue is going on. The issue is not yet settled, but the current situation is, so there is in the recent past some kind of unity between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. Okay. So Israel also trying to balance on one. Sometimes it is using peace, but sometimes it is using force. So that's why the issue is periodically rising. Sometimes it will go slow, sometimes it will pick up. In that way, the issue is moving on even till date. Now, what is the what you call stand of India? Like in what way India took the stand to understand this particular conflict? If you see, In the starting, India was nowhere interested for the separation of Israel and Palestine because we ourselves suffered with partition. So with that reason, India is nowhere interested for the separation. But eventually when the separation took place, India doesn't have any other option. India has to recognize Israel. Though we recognized in 1950, till 1992, we haven't have any formal diplomatic relations. Okay. So what we are trying to understand here, though we started our relations, that means recognizing Israel as a separate country way back in 1950. At the same time, we are also very much clear when it comes to Palestine. So we want the Palestinians should be getting justice for that. So we recognize the separate statehood of this Palestine. We recognized Palestine Liberation Organization. Okay, in 1988, we actually recognized we recognized separate statehood for the Palestine. Okay, next one, if you see here, in 2012, at the United Nations level, here I did not mention that point. United Nations will provide observer status. So right now, according to United Nations, Palestine is a non-member observer at the United Nations. So this is the current status of Palestine. In 2012, United Nations, when the resolution was submitted for a separate country of Palestine, but United Nations will not recognize Palestine as a separate country, but it recognizes Palestine as a non-member observer. It means Palestine now can come and participate in the United Nations level discussions, but it cannot vote. This is what observer means. What is the role of an observer? They will come and watch, but they cannot vote. Okay, so this is about the current status. So India also supported the separate statehood for Palestine. We even supported for that observer status to Palestine. Okay. At the same time, in the recent past, after 2014, okay, some challenges we are having with respect to dealing with Palestine because we are in more support to Israel than to the Palestine. For example, if you see here in the UNHR's resolution, we against human rights violations by Israeli armed forces in the Gaza Strip. We actually voted against that particular one. We supported Israel. We did not support the cause of human rights violations that time in 2014. If you see the recent one, we dehyphenated. Dehyphenated means now we will not deal Israel Palestine combinedly. Palestine is separate for us, Israel is separate for us. This is what the current government stand. In the current foreign policy, in the current India's foreign policy, especially towards West Asia. Okay, so we dehyphenated Israel with Palestine. Dehyphenation means what? Now Israel, Palestine. Okay. Hyphen means discussing with both the things combinedly. This is what hyphen. D hyphen means take off this. Israel, now for me, Israel is separate, Palestine is separate. So now dehyphenation means I will deal both these countries separately. So this is what is our present stand. And if you see here, why the conflict is perennial, everlasting. Why it is keep on lasting here? We have major challenges like, first of all, with respect to the borders, Israel is mentioning one border, Palestine mentioning another border. So Palestinians want at least the 1967 borders. Israel is not even accepting that also. And the second one is the issue of refugees. So because of the continuous oppression and exploitation. And the status of Jerusalem. Israel claims, in the recent past, Israel claiming that Jerusalem belongs to us. 1 minute. Yeah. So, uh, the next issue is this divided leadership. This divided leadership also is one issue here. Okay, because Fateh one group and Hamas another faction. So these are the major issues why the conflict is still continuing. And the next one, this is most important aspect. Why this issue is very much important for India? Why this is important for India? For our both geopolitical and economic relations. See, we have India is a home to, sorry, West Asia, especially Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. These countries are home to the Indian expatriates, Indian diaspora. We have energy needs from there. And if you maintain good relations with them, you can also balance Pakistan because Pakistan always uses West Asian countries against India. So if you balance a good relations with them, you can also balance Pakistan. At the same time, Israel also very crucial for us. To maintain our good relations with West, Israel is very crucial. Israel is very good in terms of what you call technological transfer, arms support, okay, support in agriculture, in investments. So that's why we have to balance both. So we have to balance Israel on one side and Palestine on the other side. So finally, what should be the way forward? The two-state solution should be there. At the same time, you should not think this issue as Israel-Palestine conflict. It should be discussed as Israel-Arab conflict. And we should come up with some kind of amicable solution. We should try to convince Israel on one side, and we should also convince Palestine on the other side, because at least if you have an independent country, they can have, because they will become sovereign, they can take their own independent decisions. But now Palestinians are like, they are there, but they're not being represented by any country. So they cannot, their problems cannot be taken up at the international level because we have United Nations. If I represent from my country, then I can showcase I can project my country, and I can tell to other countries regarding the issues I am facing. But if I'm not recognized as a country, where I will get the voice? So to provide voice to the people of Palestine, the most immediate thing what we have to do is recognizing the state of Palestine. So this is the very immediate need of the hour. So for that purpose, we need the full support of the international community along with the regional level support. So with that note, we will be ending the topic. Thank you.